Stacey Murphy here. Let's talk about standard operating procedures for a business when you want to align with the team's sole purpose. Now, this is an interesting question, isn't it? Because business seems to have nothing to do with sole purpose in a lot of ways. We talk about business as if it is linear and logic. What's the first thing that we do? We create a business plan, and then we put together some milestones and some project management and some timelines, and then we assign roles and tasks and all of that. And so how do you do it differently? How do you operationalize spiritual evolution of a team? And so there's a saying that says that God laughs at plans, right? But they're still helpful. And here's why the plan is still helpful. So I've been helping teams with this. And one of the things that happens is that each one of the members of the team has their own intuition about where this business is going. And the business is an energy that they're all following. And so putting those down on paper, now of course, so much more is possible than what anybody is intuiting. Anything is possible in the field. And so the intuition's helpful to put together maybe a quarterly plan, something that you can just put down on paper and say, this is the general path that we are on together as a team. And then the question becomes, how do you then operationalize more intuition, more imagination, more of that, so that the more that wants to come through each one of those team members is possible? Because guess what? Reality is way bigger than our physical senses, our seeing, our taste, our touch, our smell. That's less than 1% of reality. So much more is possible here and now. And so how do you elicit that as an executive of a team? How do you operationalize it? So I've been helping different teams. A couple of tools that I found that are really helpful. One is that I basically do a weekly energy discussion, basically, or energy focusing, I would call it, where basically we're going to focus the energy and listen to what comes up for each one of us, knowing that whatever comes up is probably the fastest path, faster than any of the bullet points or action items that we've laid out. And then the second thing that I've been laying out is so yes, a really quick quarterly plan. Do it with AI. Like, don't even spend much time on it. Just get it out the door. And then on a weekly basis, put together, or every 2 weeks, put together a sprint, which feels like the juiciest question that we could be asking right now to move the needle forward, and just focus on the question. And then that week, as you focus the energy, focus on what are the action items of this week, and allow your teammates to come to the table with their intuition and say, something's come up for me, or energy is like. And the other piece of this, the third piece, so those are the two. The third piece is you have to listen to the energy blockers as much as the intuitive responses, the imagination. So when there is a lot of synchronicity towards something, that means that there's a lot of imagination, intuition, empathy, and action. That is people's soul path on fire. But then every once in a while, there'll just be doors that like slam shut, like, this is hard, this isn't working, like, this doesn't make any sense, it's not going anywhere. There is no need to continue down those paths or even finish those things. Just allow your team to show up and say, you know what, the energy isn't lined up on this thing. And maybe it's their energy that's not lined up on that thing, or maybe it's the energy of the business that's not lined up behind that. And so you have to know the difference. And so having somebody who can tell the difference, having a way to tune in to what's going on and saying, it actually does feel aligned, but you're not the person that feels aligned to it, and that's okay. We just need to rearrange. So this idea that there are roles and responsibilities that are rigid, maybe allowing each of those sprint weeks to open the door, open source, and say, okay, what are the things that are lighting up for people? Where are you lit up to take some action on these different items? So that's what I'm implementing with my team, my different teams, as I'm operationalizing the intuitive, imaginative, empathetic path of allowing all of the team members to be on their soul journey. And there is a last piece of this, which is that I have a complete open door, non-judgmental open door of anything that comes up. If that is something going on outside of the business, whatever it is, where the energy is stuck, or the energy is vibrant or active and needs attention, I have an open door, non-judgmental for all of that, because I know that these are people on their soul path. This is a business on its soul path, and we are all creating it together. And whatever's coming up in their life is relevant because we are all entangled. And there is, with quantum physics, you cannot send 2 photons of light down 2 different pathways and expect them to be not entangled. And so to accept that my team is entangled and to allow whatever's coming up in their personal life to be relevant to what's going on, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many doors it opens when the energy shifts for something going on your team. All right, I hope that helps. And if you have any questions, post them in the comments. I would love to hear how you are operationalizing imagination, intuition, and empathy in your executive team.